Hey everyone, Natalie Antonov here with Gable Music Ventures again for another interview with the music industry experts. And we have a couple awesome experts today for you. We have Alexandra and CT Fields, previously of acclaimed rock group Love Betty, who transformed into a Rolling Stone band to watch and one of Nashville's newest, hottest country sensations, also known as Willow Hill. They are regularly touring both internationally and nationally, up to 200 dates per year for the last 10 years, and have shared bills with national acts like Miranda Lambert, Zach Brown, Aaron Lewis, and many, many more. Their music careers landed them sponsorships, endorsements, emerging artist awards. They were voted in the top 3 out of 20,000 acts to perform at the Grammys, and snagged a spot performing the official Lady Gaga after party for her Monsters Ball tour. I am super pumped to talk to these two, so let's dig into it with Willow Hill.
Hello, how are you?
Hi.
Hey, how you doing?
So good. Thank you so much for having us.
Good to see you.
I love to have you guys. Be transparent here with the audience. I've known these guys for 10, 12 years. How long? Love Betty?
Long time, yeah. Long time.
Kindergarten.
Yeah, right. would have been cool though. Oh man. Yeah, so I am super excited to talk to you guys, and I wanted to start off with the easy questions. What drew you initially into music?
Well, for me personally, I always would like write songs. Like when I was little, I would write songs when I was sad, like always. And or when I was excited, whatever. I was always writing songs, sometimes just piano or sometimes just lyrics. And it was actually when I met CT that I was able to kind of put those things together, and he knew a lot more about, songwriting than I did. Mine was just kind of like off the hip. So that's kind of how I started.
Cool. How about you?
Geez, I started in like middle school. I just I heard my first rock band, and I was like, well, now that's what I'm going to do forever, because that's only the coolest job that could happen. And then I got into producing, and then I think right after that, once I got into like actual songwriting, I just kind of fell in love and, said, you know what, I just want to write amazing songs for the rest of my life, and I hope there's a way to do that.
And you guys figured it out. So you mentioned it kind of changed for you, Allie, when you met CT. How did you guys meet?
We met at a 24-hour diner in college.
Love at a diner.
Yeah, and I walked in covered in paint and looking like a crazy person, and he was sitting in a corner booth by himself writing poetry, and it was love at first sight, really.
Like
the two weirdest people in that town happened to be hungry for coffee at midnight, so here we are.
I was like, you're my weird.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. How cute. All right. Did you guys, just curious, did you guys go to school for music, or was it something you just picked up?
No, neither one of us.
I went to school for sculpture.
Oh.
I was a English major, and I was also doing graphic design, and we both were actual writers, like literary writers. Yeah, and that's really where we met. Instead of songwriting, we met as literary writers.
Yeah, that's true. We fell in love with each other's poetry, and then started, he had a studio in his house, and I had spent the previous summer with my cousin, who made a lot of music. He does all kinds of awesome things, and it was my first experience ever being able to record anything. And I had a couple songs that I'd written on piano, and he recorded for me. So when I met him at Eaton Park, he was talking to a mutual friend of ours. We didn't know each other, but I heard him talking about recording or whatever, and I was like, oh, you have a recording equipment? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, can I come over and use it? And he's like,
sure.
Okay, random stranger. And I was like, okay, great. Girl. So then I did. I'd come over to his house, and I'd be like, well, you have to leave because you can't be here when I'm doing this. Because I was so shy. So we didn't know each other. It was like, I think we were like friendly, and you let me use your equipment, and we both were dating somebody at the time.
We were being cool.
It was like 3 months before we were finally like, okay, like, I don't know, but I think I'm in love with you. Oh, me too.
Yeah.
How that went.
I think we're just going to spend the rest of our lives together now.
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Yeah. I stayed over at his house one night. We were watching a movie, fell asleep, and then we haven't ever spent a night apart since then.
No, we have not.
Yeah.
That is literally the most adorable story I think I've ever heard. Oh my god, that is amazing. So at some point or other, you guys started a very well-known little rock band called Love Betty. Tell us a little bit about Love Betty.
You know what? It was wonderful. It was four friends, getting in a rock band and really slugging it out and giving it everything you got, and that was it was a great experience. I wouldn't take anything back. It was time of our lives, and it was a lot of cutting our teeth,
Yeah.
and a lot of new experiences all the time.
Yeah, we were young, we were dumb, we were
Chaotic.
could sleep on floors without hurting your neck, It was fun. It was good,
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
it. It was a wild time, but we were proud to to put in that kind of legwork for sure.
Now that's where you got to perform at the Lady Gaga after party and the whole Grammys thing and all of those really cool experiences, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
So I guess the question here is why change from that to this lovely, beautiful little country duo that you've got going on here? Different vibe completely.
Well, we always were, it was always us writing songs, and but what made Love Betty was the four of us, and when Dan, the original bass player, stepped down to be a daddy and be grown up, it really changed
The dynamic
it changed-
shifted.
yeah, it just wasn't quite the same. And then when we lost Larry, it was like, you know what? This isn't even this band anymore. And we've all grown up. We'd been doing Love Betty for so long that it felt like we were just trying to keep it alive, and it just kind of felt wrong. I feel like we're taking away from what it was because it's not that anymore.
We were having a good time, but I think we were writing the songs that became Willow Hill for about 5 years prior to Willow Hill existing. So we had been songwriting and writing for other genres and other styles, and we were never, specifically, like as you could tell with Love Betty, it was never a specific genre or style.
Right, yeah.
And so we were writing all this material, and we weren't, it was all over the place, and it was just us as songwriters being songwriters. And then at some point we were like, let's put out a this country project, if you will, and we just were in love with it. Things were shifting, and we just said, I think this is where our heart is. We can still rock because country, now is rock and pop, and we can still write a ballad, and we can kind of do everything artistically we wanted to do, just in a genre that's a little more authentic to us as people.
Yeah, I think that is true. When we were doing a lot of these rock festivals and stuff, I always was just like, oh gosh, like,
I'm not that mad.
I have nothing in common here. Like, I just always felt like, why are we here?
Yeah, we're not really angry people, and not saying that all rock people are.
No, but you know what I mean, though. Like, rock scene is like a whole.
It's hardcore.
Yeah.
It's a whole vibe, and like, it's just not really us. Like, you'd walk and be like, "Hey, so good to meet you," and they're like, "Why are you saying hi to me?" And you're like, "Oh yeah, right. I don't know." So we just didn't belong.
We were like
honestly.
little puppies. We're excited to meet everybody, and I feel like a lot of people were just kind of like, "Oh, you're different."
Yeah,
rock.
and then Vicky Walls, I'm sure you know her from Bottle and Cork, Highway 1, Rusted Rudder, all that in Dewey Beach. She invited us to some country festivals, and we got there and we're like, what? This is what we ought to be doing, and our songs literally fit in perfectly. So we're like, okay, like, I feel like this is actually where we do belong, and we've been a lot happier since then.
I don't think we knew that country was shifting the way it had.
Yeah.
I think, there's a regime change back in the day where rock went, kind of pulled in every genre, and suddenly there was alternative rock, and everything was alternative.
Right.
And I feel like that's where country has gone, where, like, in fact, we've been joking around calling ourselves the alternative. And it's because, all these different genres together.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, no, that's great. You guys were able to build a giant fan base with Love Betty. Did you see any amount of those fans kind of move with you when you switched?
Yeah,
All of them did.
yeah,
Honestly,
we were nervous at first. I mean, we really did. We were like, oh, this is different. We don't know if people are going to take this or even care.
yeah.
And instead, I really felt like we had such a groundswell. It was bigger than Love Betty within, like, I mean, 6 months. We were like, oh, like, we were worried people would like it, you know?
Yeah, we started playing some Willow Hill songs at Love Betty shows, and they were getting such a great response that we were like, okay, so like this isn't, you know, Don't Let the Door Hit Ya is as rock as any Love Betty song. You know what I mean? So
Love it, though,
I think,
love it.
yeah, thank you. I feel like anyone that liked Love Betty liked our songwriting, and I don't think that element has changed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We were, you know, Hill was, as you know, it's us saying, let's work on the craft of each song. Let's really, like, let's not just say this is the song, but like let's spend some extra time. Let's really work on the melodies, the lyrics. Let's really care about this and care about each song and just really spend a lot of time just making like the best song, you know, instead of just all being the show and the, you know,
Right,
the
which
craziness.
is fun.
It is. Well, we got to bring it into Willow Hill now, which is nice. They've been doing
Yeah.
so much band stuff and all the, like, you know, the live energy and the chaos that, you know, we had in the Love Betty shows is now pulled into the Willow Hill stuff. Whereas, you know, before it was just like, hey, we wrote these songs and we were like kind of opening for ourselves. We would do like an acoustic set
We did
before a
do
Love
that.
Betty show. You know, I think we did one with Gable.
Kind of sneak it in there.
Yeah, we did it at Fortify.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. And so what do you think contributed mostly to the success that you guys were able to have with, you know, growing the fan base in the first place, but then being able to keep it?
Oh, I think being honest. I think, you know, people can tell. People know you. You know, like you can pretend all you want, but like when the song is about you and the song and you mean it and it's authentic and people can relate to that, you know, I think that sincerity translates, and I think that's what, you know, has always kind of been a thing. We refuse to placate anybody. We refuse, like, even just switching to Willow Hill. It wasn't us trying to be a country band. It was us going, this is
what we're doing. Yeah, like it honestly felt like we were putting on an act anymore being Love Betty.
Yeah.
And how many times did I say, I was like, I feel like dishonest. Like I feel like this isn't right, you know. So,
we're just not a people. We're people. We like people. We love, you know, talking to people. We know we know what you're, you know, if you're a fan, we know where your kids are going to school. We know, you know, where you work. We know everything about you just because we care, you know. That's what you should be like with your fans, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's that genuine sort of, you know, caring about the fans and not just using them as kind of a means to an end sort of thing.
Absolutely.
Sure.
Almost to the point where it's like, you know, I get distracted because I'm so excited to see everybody that I'm like playing a song. I'm like, oh yeah, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh, what am I at? What am I doing? So it's a constant battle for me to put on Stage Alley so that I can do the job they came to see, you know?
Yeah. I think and we started doing so many acoustic dates with Willow Hill. I think we really got to like get down in it and not be like on the big stage over top of everybody. We got to really, you know, meet everybody and spend more time, you know, like in a close environment. I think that as we built Willow Hill into a band, into like a more of a festival and stage act, I think that it just kind of kept moving up from there.
Yeah. And I think I mean, as a fan myself, from all the years that I've known you guys on you know both bands, it really does show. It does, and I think it really does matter as far as keeping those fans around when you guys are that genuine. So I think it's working for you. Okay, let's move on to talking about what you guys do literally what seems like all the time. You are touring everywhere all the time. You're 10 years, 200 dates or more. I mean, what's your favorite and least favorite parts of it?
Our favorite parts of it is like we were just talking about, literally getting to see all our people. It's like you have a family in every town you go to, and that's the coolest thing ever. We really, really love that.
Touring is going cool places and hanging out with your friends.
Yeah,
you know?
we love adventure. Like that's kind of our jam.
We call ourselves the Adventure Gang. And so even when we're out adventuring in different markets, we like find like, waterfalls and cool parks, and
Yeah.
we're always looking for that next adventure. And then we started going out of the country and doing stuff in like Europe and the Virgin Islands and these like destination spots, and it was always about the adventure. That's the best part.
Yeah, it is. It does sound completely insane, us being on the road all the time, and sometimes it is crazy exhausting.
We did 20 something shows this month.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It
I
gets
don't
a
know how
little,
you guys have the energy.
yeah. But honestly, we get really restless when we're not doing it because we're so used to it. So you come home, like the first couple weeks of the quarantine, we were like, what the heck? We fought. We never fight. Like, we literally don't fight. And we were like, oh my God, we had so many arguments. And I think it's so much just because we were like,
we didn't know what to do with
what do we do with
ourselves.
ourselves? Yeah, it was weird.
We're busy people. We like being busy. We like to make things and do things. We don't like sitting still. And when we do, this like apatheticness sits in you. Like, you almost feel bad, that you're always so busy. And then you realize that, like, what's the difference? Like, like if you're happy and busy, then you're just living life.
Yeah.
I like that thinking. Do you guys, as Willow Hill, do you travel with a band, or is it mostly the two of you and then you meet up, or how does it work?
It's both. A lot of times it's us in the car together. But when we take a band with us, yeah, it would be 5 of us packed into there.
It's really, because it's almost like every other week, or sometimes it's every week. It just depends on month to month or date to date. I mean,
Yeah.
But a lot of weekends we have the full band on the weekends, and then we're doing stuff throughout the week, So, you might have the Nashville band from Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then suddenly Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday you're doing acoustic.
Yeah, and that can get that's when it gets a little crazier. These like unnecessary, like, oh, we just played 4 shows acoustic. We have to drive 8 hours, pick up the band, drive right back, and then play a bunch of shows, and then drive back overnight because they've got a gig, and you're like, that's when you're like, okay, like, playing 10 days in a row, whatever, if you're like traveling, so like, one place and then another.
Yeah, we're so scalable and adaptable that it makes for a little more chaos than usual. You got to be a real lifer to do the kind of way we do it, We're just
or hire a private plane.
Do you guys have anyone who takes care of the logistics and planning for your tours? CT, there you go.
I just say, well, that's a terrible idea. Make it better.
Moral support. There you go.
I do try and help, but he literally does everything. He's a beast when it comes to everything. And then he'll make all the plans, and then he drives 7 hours straight, and you're like, he actually, like last trip, you actually let me drive a bunch.
Yeah.
He's like, babe, I have so much work to do. I have a million emails. Can you please drive? And I was like,
well, that's the hard part about doing 200 something days a year. You have 200 contracts. You have 200 W-9s.
Yeah.
You have so much paperwork, and then the logistics on top of it. It just, you've got to be on top of it. You got to be ahead. And I am known to get under here and there. It's just, it just becomes overwhelming, especially if you're doing like 6 days in a week, and that's the only time you have is driving to those cities. You know?
So our mornings are almost always just him on a laptop and doing all that. But yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, I mean, he's getting much better about sharing the workload, but he definitely is the one delegating and doing everything.
I'm trying.
Hey,
I think
it's working.
Yeah. I spend a lot of time on my hair, so we're fair. It's even.
Well, that's the most important thing is the hair. I mean, come on. Obviously, if you don't have the hair, what are you gonna do?
I think I need to make myself a wig just so I don't have to do it every day.
The hair.
I shaved half of it so that I could sleep like on this side and wake up and still be able to play a show. Actually.
Is that really why you did that?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, literally, it used to be the whole way around, and we had a radio performance at 6 o'clock in the morning, and we were in. The radio performance was in Pittsburgh, and we were in, I think, South Carolina or something. So we just had to drive overnight, and we were in a bus that trip. And I remember like they're all working on something, and I'm sitting like on the couch like this with my head like over it so that I wouldn't screw my hair up, And we got 6 o'clock in the morning, and I was like, okay, Yeah, I think we need to make a change here so that I can actually lay down and get some rest. And so that's what I did. I shaved half my head.
Yeah.
And it's great, but actually I feel like it balances it much better because my hair is so much that if it was that much all the way around, it's just too much.
And here I thought that's just what you meant to do on purpose the whole time, just for the stylish look of it.
I thought it would look cool, and now
It does look cool.
I just wake up and throw a hat on and start booking and working, and she's got to do all the chaos. The poor thing.
The boys, they have it easy. Anyway.
Oh my gosh, don't they though? I hope in my next life I'm a boy.
So with all the crazy touring schedules and the sleeping on buses and all that, how do you guys stay physically, mentally healthy and balanced while you're on the road?
Well, we do a lot of bike riding. Like when we're home throughout the, like if we're home Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, you catch us on a bike or a kayak or
we go for a lot of walks.
Mm-hmm.
Like wherever we are, it's a good way to start a day. You get up early, it's all going to be chaos. And a lot of times too, like if we're on the road with a bunch of other people, we just like to have our own kind of little couple bubble time, we call it.
Yeah.
So we'll get up early and we'll just walk.
Disappear from everybody, slink out.
Yeah, just kind of like get grounded a little bit. Just make sure we're on the same page.
I think even no matter how many things you have in your plate, if you like set that time aside, then you kind of can compartmentalize better and get, to it. You've reset, you've come, almost like not yoga, but meditation or something,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do all that too.
Yeah, cool. So you guys get ready and ready to go early on in the day. And then the day goes on and you're on the road and you're tired and you're hungry. What do you eat?
Well, we've been working on that.
Part of the biking and jogging and everything, throughout the week when we're home, we're definitely mostly vegetable meat,
Fruit,
salmon and, things like that. But when we're on the road, it becomes tough. So we do a lot of farm stands, a lot of like fruit and
can't pass up a farm stand.
No.
I can't. There's this one that I'm obsessed with in Ohio. It's called Bergman's Orchards, and it's
So I think sometimes if maybe you want breakfast instead of getting a big, large, heavy breakfast, you eat like a banana or you eat like a little salad or some granola or things like that, and I think that helps you a little bit, when you can't get all the good stuff.
Yeah, when we're traveling like in a van or a car, it gets a little dicey. We're in an RV, it's easy. I can make us food all the time, and that's fun because it's like you have your house with you.
Yeah, the RV, we made a lot of food, a lot of meals there.
Yeah,
so that was good. But if you're traveling in the van and you got to stop at McDonald's 3 times a day, that's bad.
Yeah, and you just feel bad, and then you have terrible energy, and it's no good. And so we're working on it. It's a balance.
I think it's always going to be a process.
Sometimes it's all you can do is Taco Bell at 2 a.m. because you're starving, but we try not to.
No, that's totally understandable. It's good that you guys at this point you're pros enough to be able to kind of handle that. What's the best of the worst choices I could possibly eat.
Absolutely, yeah. Like steer clear of the heavy carbs and stuff like that because it just you pay for it later.
Well, it'll show up really quick if you're doing it 3 times a day.
Yeah.
Fact. Anyway, do you have any funny stories from your touring that you would like to share?
Oh, jeez.
I have an interesting fact for you. You may not know.
What's that?
Did you know that vultures can projectile vomit up to 50 feet?
I did not. But now I do. And how do we know this over there?
So, last summer we were hanging out with a friend of ours. His name is Chase Eagleson. He's absolutely a fantastic musician.
If you're on YouTube,
I suggest looking him up.
Chase Eagleson is millions of views, but he's amazing.
Yes. We were helping him scout for a place to do a video. And behind one of the breweries that we play is this gorgeous orchard. So we are all there setting up, and I'm like, I'm gonna go look and see if I can find some good spots for us to do some photo shoots. So I'm just moseying around, whatever, and I see this really old barn back in the woods, and I'm like, oh, cool, that'd be perfect. So I'm walking, and all of a sudden, it feels like 30 children just threw hot, wet water balloons at the back of my head.
Uh-huh.
And I thought I was under attack. by a kindergarten class. I was like, what just happened to me? He's behind me, right? And I'm like, babe, what just happened? He's like throwing up.
From my view, okay, I'm like, what was that sound? I mean, it sounded like this loud thud and splatter. And then I look up, and it looks like one of those big things from like Jim Henson, you know, like the big Muppets. And it's like, and it just starts flying away. And I'm like, no. And I thought it went number 2 or something.
We didn't know what it was. It just smelled like death. So much death. And I'll tell you why it smelled like death, because it was death. There was
actual death.
Chunks of birds and dead animals and fish guts and eyes
she's like
hanging out of my hair and running down.
When she was show ready, we had to play a show directly after this, so she was done up. So like, if you imagine it was woven into her hair, you couldn't get it out. You know what I mean?
It was.
She's like, get it off me, honey, get it off me. And there's like fish eyeballs like staring at me. I'm like, this is not cool.
And I'm trying so hard not to throw up. I mean, the smell, you can't even imagine. And I'm trying so hard not to throw up, because if I threw up, I knew I would lose my voice, you know, from like the acid and whatever. And I knew if I started throwing up, I would never stop throwing up. So I'm like having to walk like backwards so that I can't smell it. I had to rip my shirt off so that
we had to give her one of our shirts, and then
and so then I wrapped my friend had a Walmart bag in the back of his Jeep. So I wrapped my hair in a Walmart bag like a bandana.
We took the top off the Jeep. We took all the rubber mats and we made a seat out of it for her to sit on, and we drove to the hotel. She took 7 showers?
No, 9. I washed my hair 9 times. I was crying. I was also in shock. It was we're on our way back, and like no one knows what to say. They're like, you're handling this so well. And I was like, if I let my brain register what just happened to me, I don't think I'll ever recover. Like I just have to go catatonic. So I was like catatonic.
She barely said what. She was just
puts me in the shower, and I'm just washing my hair over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, trying so hard not to think about all those things running down my back.
Meanwhile, we had to play a show. So like we got to the this outdoor like
it was like this like party in the street sort of a situation.
Yeah.
Actually very much like Smyrna at night.
Yeah.
And we show up like 10 minutes before we're supposed to be on stage, and
had to set up everything, sound check everything.
Played a heck of a show though.
Yeah.
It was so funny. Everyone thought I was gonna like lose my shit, and I was just like so relieved. Like I was like, no, like I'm okay. I'm here right now. That's over. Like I just want to pretend that didn't happen. I was like so grateful to just be like doing what I wanted to be doing. You know what I mean? I don't know how to explain it.
Not
it was
covered
so bizarre, but I was like,
balls.
"You're gonna get me down tonight, Vulture." Like I'm fun. So yeah,
it was probably exactly not what you expected
from
stories.
It was so bizarre. But so you know, if you're ever walking around, do look up in the trees, and if you see a vulture, don't have ridiculous hair that makes it think you're some kind of predatory bird, and it'll puke all over you. It's the worst. So there.
I can't. Okay, that was definitely the best answer I think I could have ever gotten to that question, and I think I will never ask it again.
We retired that question after that answer.
Right. Okay. So, what other than the advice you just gave about avoiding the vultures? What other advice would you give upcoming, bands who are thinking about, going on the road and touring? What's the biggest piece of advice you have for them?
Even though you want to, don't drink too much. Keep it to 2 drinks.
Yeah.
Like
drink rule.
Yeah, because what happens is, you sound like crap. You think you sound better. I've heard myself drunk. Let me tell you, it is not good. But when you get nervous, you think, I'll just have one more drink. And you think that's going to solve it. It doesn't. It just makes it worse.
I think you'd feel bad every day then. You know what I mean? You just feel like you'll feel it for a couple of days and you don't even know it. You're dehydrated. Your voice will sound worse, But I think we take ourselves so seriously doing what we do. You're so impassioned with it that, you're not getting famous every day, but you're an artist every day. You know what I mean? And so I think it's important to maybe not take yourself so seriously and just get up there and have the fun, like the reason you got into music in the first place. It's easy to lose track of that because you want to be, you know, it's the journey. It's you know?
So true. Yeah, my dad always said, it's not called the music business; it's the entertainment business. And I could get real intense on myself for not being perfect all the time. And it's like, nobody cares. No one cares if you're perfect. They care if you're having a good time. People come to see live music to have a good time.
Mm-hmm.
Your job is to provide a good time. That's all.
We're all trying to escape, Music is an escape,
Yeah.
It's to transport you somewhere else. Whether it's a sadder music or more upbeat music, it is to transport you somewhere. So
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Got it. Great. No, that's great advice. I think both of those things together, for sure. And so throughout your years, and I'm kind of going to switch gears here a little bit. You guys have been able to get some endorsements, sponsorships. I know they're slightly different things. Not exactly how, but can you tell us a little bit about how you got those or how they happened to you?
yeah, I mean, endorsements come in all different ways. I think we think there's some magic place to get endorsements, but there's not. Our first one we got was Paul Reed Smith Guitars. We were playing South by Southwest in Texas, probably second or third year.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
And so it took a while, and then we met the reps and we invited them to a show, and we happened to have a really good show that night, and I was having a lot of fun. I don't think I knew if they were in the audience or if they made it or not. And then about 3 months later, I got a random email, and they were like, "Hey, still have your CD in our CD deck from South by Southwest. Still thinking about your show. Would like to bring you on board." And I was like,
What?
"Wait, what? Is that the Paul Reed Smith guitars? Like the guitars like I'd die for and can't afford, especially at that time. I was a little kid.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's where that came from. We recently got Bose.
Oh gosh, I had been dreaming. So we played through a Bose sound system a couple years ago, and we were like, a friend had one, and we're like, "Do you mind? Could we play through it?" He didn't have a show, and he's like, "Yeah, absolutely. I'll leave it set up for you guys. Can use it." It was such a game changer.
Mm-hmm.
Like, wow, the sound of it was just so good. Mm-hmm. And so we literally bought one. That week we bought one, and we just everywhere we played, people were like, "Oh my god, it sounds so much better." So we were kind of like repping them to everyone we knew that played music. All the venues we played,
we were like, already promoting.
"What'd you guys do?
Company.
It sounds so much better." And we'd be like, "Dude, it's this system, And so
every time they came out with something new, we were like, "We have to have that." And like we didn't, we were just like financing through like Sweetwater or something to build up,
But yeah, their equipment is just it's having like a third band member when it's you know what I mean, whichever. It's so good. And
we
it
couldn't live without it now.
I don't think so.
And you're not lifting the big speakers on the poles and like the big stressful load in. And there's like 32 speakers in their new like Pro 32 system they just put out this year, and it's still so light to carry, but you have an entire PA system in a stick now.
So as you can tell, we're like kind of obsessed, and my voice teacher in Nashville, she's super cool. Her name's Leslie Garbus, and she's kind of like a guru of sorts, if you will. And she suggested that I go to this woman for some craniosacral therapy. So I go to her for some craniosacral therapy, and I walk in, and her husband works for Bose, and his office is there. And I was like, I didn't know this though. I just saw that he had Bose stuff, and I was like, "Oh man, yeah, we have that system. Isn't it? It's so good, right?" And I just started like going off about how like much I love my system.
She's a Bose rep, didn't even know.
Didn't know he's a Bose rep, and he's like, "Oh yeah, we should talk about that later."
But then he looked us up, and they saw the music videos and everything. And next thing you know, he's like, "Hey, I am a Bose rep, and we want to bring you on board." I love that they don't really endorse many artists. They had us certify to be able to demo all their products and everything. Like, so they'll actually hire you while you're on your routing to go play and demo their stuff in like a Guitar Center and things. They're not just endorsing you, they're actually helping you, make a living. And
Yeah, it's super cool. And it's nice because then we get to like show people what it is. And so many people don't understand the science behind what Bose does.
Yeah.
And it makes such a difference when you hear it compare something next to it. So, but yeah, it's cool. So now when we travel around, we just give them our routing and be like, oh, hey, you guys want to hit, Guitar Center in Indianapolis and do a little demo, talk to some folks? We're like, do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Other than that, we have Sennheiser microphones, which we won the Emerging Artist Series in Summerfest in Milwaukee a couple years ago, and part of the reward was things from Sennheiser, but we ended up hitting it off with them so well, and they have just taken care of us over the years.
So great, and their microphones are just like nothing against Shure, but I don't sound like me through them. And it's like obvious. So I just really love what the tonality and the vibe that their microphones give.
And one last one would be last week we just became part of the 64 audio family for in-ears.
It's so new in-ears, so we're excited. We haven't even gotten them yet. We
got our molds and
so we're just waiting for them to be made.
Solid.
But
So,
all from different areas.
do you find yourself doing, other than I guess those little drop-ins for Bose, on your end of the deal, do you find yourself doing a lot of promotion for these things, or like what's your side of the deal other than?
I mean, you make sure they're represented. They're on the bottom of our website. It has the icons on the bottom. Our tour posters have everything on there. We won't give it the company that we don't believe in. And we're lucky that they're all like really high-end product companies that we use, and so it's easy for us. I mean, we're on the microphone with a Sennheiser, and we're on stage with a PRS guitar. You know what I mean? And
honestly, they sell themselves. People come up to you afterwards and be like, "Dang, that guitar sounds so good," or "Holy cow, those speakers are ridiculous." So they're
like, "Where's your PA?" And we're like, "That thing right there."
Yeah, that stick is our PA.
This is a PA. Right here.
Oh yeah, it's right there in the back.
Yeah.
And that's what it's like, working with Bose, you're like, that thing is a PA. And they're like, what?
Yeah, but it's so awesome, to have companies that you believe in, that you really like their stuff, and you can just gush about how wonderful they are, and it's so nice getting to work with these wonderful reps that really want you to succeed, and they want to make sure that you've got the equipment to do the best job you can do. And it's a cool relationship, honestly,
Yeah, I think, you got to be working for each other. You got to, we believe in their products, not because they endorsed us, because we were using them long before. I think, that, the right pairing, we all want endorsements because we think, you should give, I hope somebody will give me free stuff because we're, musicians.
Yeah, but it doesn't really work like that. It's like, this is what I use, and they see you using it, they see you loving it, they see you talking about
and then they want to help you.
And then they're like, okay, well, you're a really good face for what we're doing. You understand our product. You believe in our product. Let's talk. And that's kind of how it works.
Got it. So that would be the piece of advice you would give bands, is if they really believe in a product, or if they're using something, to just keep at it and keep. Don't
just get blah 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 guitars because you could get that endorsement. Like you're gonna have to play that every day, and you better believe in it, and you're gonna have to tell everybody to buy one. You're gonna tell everybody that how awesome your instrument is, and if it's not, playing it.
I can't think of anybody that has an endorsement for a product that they weren't already using. You know what I mean? Like, those people are gonna look you up. Like, if you're saying, I want to be endorsed by you, well, they're gonna look you up and see what you're using. And if you're not using their product, they're gonna be like, so you just want me to give you a free guitar buy? Like, no, yeah. So that's just it's different than
like, I didn't have the nice PRS whenever I met them because I couldn't afford it, but then with their help I could, and so that's how it works.
Yeah, and with drummers the same way, if a guy's playing a Pearl kit and wants endorsements and he reaches out to 12 different companies, they want to know why you want that kit. You know what I mean? Show me that you love your kit and that's all you'll use and whatever. So
yeah. Got it. Cool. So is there, I guess, any situation where you would, I guess, not necessarily be cold calling these kinds of people to get endorsements, or is it generally most of the time, they end up finding you somehow, or Is it 50?
There are ways to get. Yeah, there are ways to get near, like with them. You know what I mean? Like to put yourself in the shark den, if you will. I mean, like Nam, the Nam show is a great place to meet the actual
Yeah.
reps from the companies.
Yeah, like those would be the guys that you're directly working with.
Yeah, there's one in Nashville in the summer, and there's one in Anaheim in California in the
In January, I think.
January. And I mean, hey, you get to go see the best products ever. You know what I mean? And all the new stuff coming out, so it's worth going. And if you are with any company, they'll probably help you go there. I mean, they'll give you passes anyways. So
Right.
if you have one endorsement, you can go there and meet all the reps from the other companies.
Yeah.
And then South by Southwest, you know, there's a lot of trade shows and things there. Any kind of conference and trade show, you generally can find reps from a lot of those companies, and that's where you meet them.
Yeah, but it is, um, it's not like a Wizard of Oz situation. You know what I mean? Like you go and that guy is the rep. That's his job, is to meet people like you to work with.
Right.
So,
have your ducks in a row. You know, make sure your
Yeah.
website looks good. Make sure your date up to date. Make sure that you're the company you are rep. Make sure that you're worthwhile. And when they look you up, they're not like, well, I mean, great. Well, why am I giving you a guitar?
and if you're really going after something, you could, say for instance, you want a breed love ukulele, and you could be like, hey, I'm going to do a YouTube video on ukulele, blah, blah, blah. I'm using this, and like make an actual video as if you were already a rep, and then send it to them.
Yeah.
And then they're going, oh yeah, what a nice job they did. Okay, yeah, I'll give you a deal.
Think outside the box, and also they all have emails. They're all regular people. It's not some, god figure who's gonna give you like free keyboards or something like that. You know what I mean? It's a guy who works at the company, who moved his way up through the ladder, who is now in charge of that. And he's just looking for great artists to represent a great product.
Yeah.
Got it. Well, I'm glad you mentioned the website and having your ducks in a row with that kind of thing. Your branding and your social media is on point, and we've done a million videos on branding and social media, and we cannot stress enough to all the bands that we work with how important it is to have yourself tied up and look well, have any branding, logos, good pictures, not crappy pictures, good videos, not crappy videos. Who does it on your team, first of all? Yeah, okay. I knew that.
It's not that. Like, I am neurotic. Like,
does it seem like I don't do anything? Because I feel like in this conversation, it's seeming like I'm not useful.
That's not true. You're literally.
It's the hair. All you need is the hair.
No, I do things. I just.
No, it's more of a businessy, interview, and that's the questions are geared towards, aspiring artists.
You, honey,
But no, I think it's for aspiring artists, and so they want to know these things. They want to know what we're doing to have success. You know what I mean? Obviously, I don't wake up every morning and get myself good looking. I put a hat on. It's hard being a trophy husband, but I do my best. No, I'm just kidding. But so social media.
Yeah.
So videos and photos and things like that, you can't take them of yourself. So there are other artists who do that. Like a photographer. If you just think of them as somebody I want to use their photos and slap them on my website, and you don't credit them, and you don't take care of them, you're not nice to them, and you don't give them, like stage passes or a drink when you see them or anything like that, and when they don't want anything, and you don't value their art, they're not coming back. So you should take care of the other artists who are using their art to promote you. If amazing videographer, if you end up, making a great product and you guys get along, then they're not going to charge you as much for that music video. They're gonna want to work with you. You know what I mean? And so I make sure that I value that art, the art of a graphic designer, the art of a photo or video, and that's why we have so much content. It's because we became friends with a lot of people who make content, that isn't just music.
Yeah, and it is tough, it is a content game always, and we know, when you're coming up in music, it's tough because you're not making money, and people want $3,000 for a video, and you're like, oh my god, like that's like 12 shows, you know what I mean? Like that's really hard. My suggestion for that is trying to find people that are also up and coming in their craft, the same that you are in music. There's going to be some people that are learn how to do video. Well, work together. You know,
Yep.
find him, say, all right, like,
Cross promote.
what do you need? Like, how can we make this work? And you know, they'll budget with you. And
You'll be at a festival and you'll see a photographer shooting off another group, and you can tell by just the lens and the camera and the frames that you're seeing from the back that they're amazing shots, you know. And you say, hey, you want a beer? And you go get them a beer, and suddenly you're in conversation. Suddenly they were like, man, that was a nice thing. Nobody's ever done that, you know. And then you say, hey, I'm playing at 6. Do you mind taking some photos? I'll throw you a couple bucks if you want them.
Photographers are so ridiculously underappreciated,
Yes.
and they are so valuable to everything that has anything to do with the entertainment business. Oh my goodness.
And
so
you literally
please
only need to be
give them
nice to
credit.
them, you know, and you should give them credit every time. And
Yeah.
that's hard. Half the time you can't remember the name, you can't remember the credit, and you know, just take some screenshots with your phone and just go back to it. Whatever it takes to find out what that credit is. It's important. It matters to them. That's all they're asking for.
Right.
So I love that you're saying that because I do some photography on the side here. I've taken some show pictures, and I agree with you 100% that it is not very difficult to just be nice and do something, you know, like credit them, and it happens all the time. So I'm really glad you brought it up, by the way. But you know, it's true, and I guess partnering with videographers, with photographers, with content creators, graphic designers, for a band that doesn't have that huge budget, like you said, that's the best way to kind of get that out there without really blowing your entire budget, you know, for the year.
Yeah. But and you know, those things, the same way you want to get paid for a show, they want to get paid for their work too, and they deserve to. So you just got to find a number where everybody can be comfortable and happy and feel like they're getting a fair deal. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So
No, 100%. So okay. So we talked a little bit about the branding as kind of what are some of the things you can do, but your look, your particular, the hair and the cowboy hat, that is a huge part of you.
The hair.
It is. It's a huge part of your branding, and much like that, bands can come up with their own looks and things like that. But I want to know, and actually, this is also a question from Danielle, Shug Daniels, who's on our team at Gable. She wants to know why, in particular, that color hair, and also, CT, are you a cowboy in real life, or do you just do it for the look?
the only thing he wrangles is me and the cat. So
Get in the van. We gotta go play some shows. No, I'm a saltwater cowboy. I'm not. You know, I'm just, you know, from a small town. You know what I mean? And you know, I'm not a ranch hand or anything, but you know, I'm a down home kid. You know, and I think when we were in the rock band, it was hard to. You know, maybe that's why I wasn't so like angry. I'm just like a nervous kid from a small town, you know?
He's a hat guy. You know how some people are just hat people?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hat person. He's got a ridiculous mop of hair under there, but he's just, I don't know, he's just a hat guy.
I just, you know, it's like doing your makeup, you know when you just look better, okay, you know? And when I get on stage, if I don't have a hat on, I get an afro like this. It's going 12 ways, and it's just not a good look. It's not attractive, I'll tell you that.
Oh my goodness. I don't think I have ever seen you hatless, and
yeah, and you probably won't. I'll show you.
Oh, I'll throw it on Facebook every now and then, and then people just, it'll be like 700 comments deep of people being like, oh my God, I thought you were bald or you had some kind of
hair.
Yeah.
I did a quarantine picture and I had a fro like this, you know?
His hair is so weird because it grows like vertically, and like half of it, I cut his hair. Half of his hair is straight, half of his hair is curly, and it changes up like what day it's going to be straight or curly. It's like, it's a lot. So it requires so much. Quarantine. It would take as long to fix his hair as it takes to fix mine, and
I don't have time.
Yeah.
So why the color, Allie? Why the color?
Okay, well, the color because so my hair is naturally like black,
red.
Mm-hmm.
And years ago when we were in Love Betty, Amy Winehouse happened, and everyone was like, "Oh my God, are you trying to look like Amy Winehouse?" I'm like, "No, I just do. I don't want to. Gosh, you know." So I really kind of had to rethink my whole style because I literally we were the same style. We had big black hair, wore pinup style dresses. I mean, it literally was like, ugh.
It's funny because we were in line at a grocery store one day, and
I'm sorry.
I saw a magazine, and I was like, "Babe, look, check out this chick. She looks like you. How crazy is that?" She's like, "Wow, that is weird," you know. And she's like,
had no idea. Like everything was about to change. That I was gonna have to define myself.
She used to wingtip.
Yeah, I can't wear eyeliner. It's crazy.
Yeah, the more.
Yeah, though. I mean, I really could. I can see with the whole dark hair look and everything. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how the red hair happened. But then it just kind of became my signature thing, and
then you start having some fun with it.
Yeah.
There's been purple here. There's been red here.
Yeah.
It's morphed.
I keep saying like, "Oh, I'm gonna change it up. I'm gonna do like different colors all the time," but I just haven't done it.
And is it red just because you like red, or is it red because that's just a color that means something to you, or what?
No, I just like it.
Fair enough.
I think it looks good, like with my skin. I have a weird. I'm like, I don't know. My skin's like pale but green, so you can't go too many colors. Like I tried to go blonde once, horrible idea. Also went blue once, also no good. I look like the corpse bride. So I've got to stick to like a certain like warm colors, I guess. I don't know.
Skin tone matching. Totally fair. Totally fair. All right.
Yeah.
I'll take it. I'll take it. All right. We're going to do a quick little speed round. This generally doesn't ever go quickly, but we're going to try.
I was going to say good luck. We're very long-winded. But go.
Can't tell.
It's good. No, it's good though. It's good. It makes for a more interesting interview. But we're going to try and keep these a little bit shorter here. And I might ask one of you or both of you. I'm going to go with CT. What's your favorite song to play?
Ooh, to play. Man, it's somewhere between "Don't Let the Door Hit You" or we recently wrote a brand new song. It's called "Someone Shot a Whiskey," and it says, "I may not be your cup of tea, but I'm sure as hell someone shot a whiskey." And it's a hard driving song, and it's super fun to play live.
And Allie, what's your favorite city to tour in?
Oh, it's tough because I like everywhere.
St. Thomas, St. John, New Orleans?
No. I'd have to say probably, I don't know, somewhere in Europe. I like them all.
Fair.
I like the vibe.
Do you have a particular like venue that you really like playing at for the building itself?
Most anywhere. I mean, it's a different crowd. The Europeans, they come in and they come in 5 minutes before time. They get a beer and they all sit down and they listen to every word and they just stare and it's like you're a TV show and it's really wonderful. But they really care about everything, you know. And so
I really love playing the Smyrna Opera House.
Yeah, it's
got a super it has like a special place in my heart, you know. And I don't know. Every time we walk in there to play, you're like. Like, I don't know. It's a really good feeling, and it was our first like theater like that to get to play as a band, playing our original music. So, I would say that's probably my favorite venue that we've played because it's special.
Something going on in Smyrna this summer, actually.
I don't know. We'll have to get to that at some point. All right. Since we already talked about your endorsements and the brands. I don't know if this really makes sense to ask, but what's your favorite guitar brand?
Definitely Paul Reed Smith.
Nope.
Actually,
all right.
Want to see something super cool?
Ooh.
Today was a very wonderful, wonderful day. We, the guys from PRS were in Nashville like 2 weeks ago for Summer NAMM, and we were talking about how I've been practicing guitar and wanting to not suck at it. And they sent me this beauty today. It literally just came in the mail today.
This is not my guitar. This is her guitar.
Really?
It's
We'll be playing it live soon.
It's a parlor guitar, so it's like a little bit smaller. And
It's
so,
so adorable. I love the wood.
Yeah,
it's really
right?
nice.
It's white.
New PRS P20. It's a little short scale parlor guitar. Still amazing electronics. So
Because you normally play piano. You have that piano that you take with
well,
you.
now she wants to
Yeah,
be a
now my guitar matches my
multi-instrumentalist.
piano. I feel like I didn't do that on purpose, but
Yeah, she's trying to be a multi-instrumentalist. She looked at me yesterday. She goes, "Well, I have a guitar, a ukulele, and a keyboard. Just saying."
and
You
I also
know?
play tambourine. So
Yeah. So now I'm just bored. See, now you know she takes all the weight on stage. I just take all the weight off stage.
that's not true.
Kind of.
And on that point, no, are you guys introverted or extroverted?
We're a weird balance of both, I would say, and we tend to take turns on who's what that day.
Yeah.
It's really odd. I think we've been together so long and so much
One
that
human.
we're kind of like two sides of one person. Yeah, it's true though. Like there are days where like I'll be on stage and like coming up. Oh, I'm sorry, coming up with like jokes and off. Great. And he's like real quiet and standoffish. And then the next day it'll be the complete opposite. It's super weird.
Yeah, I think by our normal nature, had we decided not to be in the entertainment industry, I think we would have. We're pretty introverted. We're like reflective, artistic types. We want to sit at home with the cat and like create sculptures and art and literature. But we put ourselves in a position to be in front of people, and so you don't get up in front of people and not turn it on. You know what I mean? And not have some fun. And
Sorry.
Absolutely. So, do you like recording in studio vibe better or playing live more?
I think playing live, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. There's a fun to live, like you're connecting with humans, like
I like the transfer of energy from audience to us. You know what I mean? That you can. It's interesting how like the different vibes of different places and just so much it takes like one person who's just like that fun person that just gets up and doesn't give a crap. They just get up and start dancing. I always say, like, if we have ever got a ton of money, I'm literally just going to hire those people in every place we go because they literally, it can make or break a whole show.
Really?
Yeah, just that one person again. I'm like, come on, let's have some fun. And it kind of gives permission to the whole rest of the crowd to go like, oh yeah, this is fun. It's like, especially after last year, us all, we've all got a little bit more introverted, I think, because we weren't around anybody for a year. So those people in particular this year have been such a godsend because we're all a little shyer than we were, and it's nice to have that energy and everybody just like, yes, let's all celebrate being alive together. It's nice.
Absolutely. Now I hear that Allie, you have I don't want to call it an obsession, but you like plants, is what CT told me. He also said that would maybe create a very long conversation. So maybe we can just nail it down to wow, yeah. So nice. What is your favorite of the plant?
Yeah, it's like
It's like a jungle in there.
Oh, are you gonna show that wall? It's so bad.
there's the whole no, hold on.
I can show you. I can show you my
Nothing
favorite.
more.
That would take a while.
Here's the plant tour. Oh my
It's
goodness!
the whole room.
That.
It's the entire room.
Wow.
They're good they filter air. They provide oxygen, and they're so beautiful to look at. So, come on.
So which one's your favorite
How cool
one?
is that? That's so cool.
Which one is that?
This is a begonia. So begonias are like my jam.
Mhm.
All of these, everything behind me is a begonia. All
That
of that.
entire wall is a begonia. That's the begonia wall.
Some of these top ones aren't, but yeah, it's it got out of hand. I'm not gonna lie. I've started like getting them mailed to me.
People know you like them that much. That's great. No, I consider myself like halfway there. I mean, I probably have like maybe 30 plants here that I take.
Okay.
It's not bad, but then again, I'm not touring every other week, so you know.
Well, so I've learned so there's only certain kinds that I can have. So the begonias, I have them all in these self-watering pots, you see?
Ooh.
Because they do like a lot of water, and they can only go like maybe 4 days or so, a lot of them, without getting water. But most of them, only like 3 different types that I've had didn't like these self-watering pots. But everybody else does. And actually, they've been going crazy. I have this one that's literally, look at this freaking beast. I gotta show it off because I'm just so impressed with it. Help me.
I love it.
Look at this plant.
You
can't even see the top of it. It's so freaking enormous.
Oh, there it is. There we go.
Yeah, so it has literally grown like 1.5 feet in the last 2 months. Wow. It just keeps growing.
Pretty soon,
now, is this
I'm
something you developed over the quarantine, or is this something that you've done for a long time, regardless?
No, this is a new thing for me, yeah, pretty much.
Well, her mom was a master gardener. And so I think it started there with the green thumb. At first, she killed everything that came into this house. And then she figured it out. So, you lost a leaf.
So, yeah, but I always just didn't think I was good at it. But I was like, I never really understood that overwatering is just as bad as underwatering. In fact, it's way worse. So now I know what I can handle. Pothos are my jam because they tell you when they want watered. Otherwise, you ignore them and they're just pretty. So I have them.
You started this conversation.
I have an obsession. Begonias, awesome. Yeah, it's a problem, but they really bring me joy. I found myself so much calmer. Oh, right? They make me calm.
This is great. Okay, so the to move along to
probably should, yeah.
that Allie loves here, because obviously CT, you just put a hat on and do all the planning.
I think I'm gonna eventually get replaced on stage with a plant. Just saying.
So what COVID-19, I don't want to get too far in depth about it, but it did affect a lot of people and a lot of careers, especially in the music industry, for sure. How'd you guys handle it, and what'd you do to get through it?
Well, we freaked out at first.
Yeah.
Then I think there was a point where we did we were kind of in that initial phase where we were like, man, what are we gonna do? And then we thought, like, man, what's everybody else doing? And she did a video where she did a song, Take a Little Time.
Take a Little Time.
It's just her on piano. She didn't have any makeup on. It was just the middle of the night, and it was just this really like raw moment where she was like, man, like, I just want to do something to like bring everybody together. And people responded really well to it. And we were like, maybe we should go live. At least we can be together. And we ended up doing, I don't even know, like 20 weeks of Facebook Lives.
Yeah, it was awesome.
We did like Sunday supper with Willow Hill.
Yeah.
Every Sunday at like 5 for like.
I think you guys did a mini digital ladybug too, or
yeah, we did
different things
we
there.
Did. Yeah, it kind of kept us like not falling off the deep end into the abyss.
Yeah.
He wrote a lot of songs.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the type that like has to kind of write from experience. Like I need. Not always, but I kind of felt like I was like in this like weird twilight zone, and it just wasn't doing anything for me artistically. But he did not have that problem. He's just like pumping songs out like crazy. So
I kind of went to work. I thought, man, I'm never gonna get this time to create. We're too busy. And I just thought, man, like, so I took like a lot of like vitamin C. We took a lot of vitamin, obviously because of COVID,
Yeah.
And a lot of vitamin B and stuff. And I think my mind was just kind of really sharp and racing all the time. And I just had a lot of emotions and thoughts. And I thought, like, what better way to channel it than to write a bunch of songs? And so I wrote like 30 songs during all that,
You did. I wrote some, but I never, every single write we did, I was like, oh man, like, I think there's something wrong with me. It just wasn't It wasn't just flowing for me like it normally did. I did a lot of pottery.
Yeah.
I
I,
think I saw a little bit of that on your Facebook there. You have a little pottery business?
I do, yeah, yeah. That's what I went. So I went to school for that,
Cool.
and I found it like it's calming and it's centering, and I like making things. I get really restless when we're not busy. Um, so for me, it was really good. It was like when I had that restless energy, it was like go down, get to work, and it was nice because it kind of kept me from getting to
Yeah.
whatever crazy.
Nice
Yeah.
little creative outlet for that wasn't, isn't performing live, I suppose. So.
Yeah, it's a good balance for me because I do like to be creative and make things. So it's nice to be able to do that. We go out, we play a bunch of shows and whatever, and then I come home and I can and kind of get that side out of it too.
Yeah, and I mean, it kept us busy. There was from October to December, the company took off because everybody was ordering online, and so we ended up so busy that the two of us working on pottery 24 hours a day, we couldn't keep up with orders, and it was good to be able to develop the other passion, during that time. But it got overwhelming there for a while.
It was good. It kept us afloat for sure. So
It saved our
it couldn't have
lives.
happened. We got our kiln in January, and then the world shut down in March. So it couldn't have happened at a better time.
That's great that you guys found stuff that you could do in the meantime, to kind of keep sane, for lack of a better word. A lot of us,
Yeah, it really though.
I
a
really
lot of
don't
people
think it's
probably
way
didn't
better.
have something like that to do.
Yeah.
But anyway, all right. So we're nearing the end of the interview here. Thank you guys, by the way, for sticking around so long. But there's a question I always ask everyone that I interview, which is, what is the one biggest piece of advice that you would give your younger self to help you get to this point in your journey faster or more efficiently?
Be unapologetically true to yourself.
Yeah.
Oh, we're people pleasers. We like to see people happy. Um, you just do, right? You just like to make people happy, but sometimes it's at the expense of your own happiness. And before you know it, you've gone down a road, a long, far way down road that you really had no business being on. So, I would say to just be more honest with yourself and about what you want to be doing.
Yeah, I think that's great advice. I think work hard, but remember that like it's more about the journey than it is about the end goal. Like we may not all be playing stadiums and be millionaires, but like
we're really happy doing what we're doing.
Yeah,
and you
gotta
hate to
remember all the
always feel like
stories.
that's not enough. It's like always trying to chase this carrot on a stick, and it's like, man, I love what we do. We've said that. It's like at one point, like we're never gonna stop trying to get to that next level.
Sure.
But it's a total game changer to be like, but I really like where I'm at. I'm so grateful for this. That if that happens, awesome. Then that means I can reach more people and do more things. But we're honestly so grateful every day to live the life that we live. So I don't ever feel like we're wanting.
I think when we changed also to like going to places we always wanted to go, and kind of exploring more. I think then you kind of got more out of it. Like if you always want to see this city or this place, then book there, and maybe it's not perfect the first time or two, but that getting that the adventures out of it really pays off. And whether you get rich and famous, you definitely got all the adventures you were looking for.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Love it. Both great pieces of advice. Absolutely.
And there's more snakes out there than anything. So there's a snake every day in the music industry. They're everywhere. Just watch out for them.
If something seems too good to be true,
it is.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So true.
Yeah.
And a third very, very good piece of advice there. That's for sure. Just follow your instincts on that one.
Sure. Yes. Even if you want it to be true, and everyone's still like, yeah.
You know deep down.
Yeah.
Just follow that gut.
But you live, you learn.
It'll be fine.
I love it. I love it. So, do you guys have any new projects coming out, big shows, tours you'd like to talk to everyone about?
Everything.
We just found out that we got on Summerfest this year, opening up for Brett Bridge.
Yeah, that's
So we're super excited about that. It's on September 11th.
world's biggest music festival in Milwaukee.
Yeah, it's so
very
much
cool.
fun, and we're on the Miller Lite stage this year, so we're really excited about that. It's our first time playing that stage.
It's a really great stage.
So it's gonna be cool. And we are working on a new record finally, so we're really excited about that.
It's the hardest part is going to be we probably have over 100 and something songs for this record, so it's the first time I think we've had that many songs, and trying to narrow it down is going to be tough. But I think we're also looking to do something with this record where we do something more us, you know, where we're not.
But yeah.
Where we spend more time on the actual production and really thinking about what the songs need, and
Yeah, maybe like making a story, like they're usually like a collection of songs that we like, but maybe trying to curate it a little bit more to be an actual, curated collection, if you will.
Bring more art to an album.
Yeah.
So yeah, new album open here in this year. So soon, since it is kind of.
Yeah, we've been making demos and all that. So
we went Facebook Live yesterday,
Tuesday.
Well, a little bit ago, and we went and so we played a lot of the new record on there that we were working on demoing well. And then we booked November. We're hoping to go back to Europe.
Hopefully we can. We'll see.
We booked the flights and we are already starting to book the tours. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Hopefully by the time this airs, that's happening.
Oh, yeah.
And I think in a couple weeks, you guys might be popping up in Smyrna, Delaware.
I heard that through the grapevine.
Wink, wink.
Right? So excited. It's been a full over a year since we've been there, so it's gonna be awesome.
We're gonna be playing Smyrna at night. Yes. Yeah.
Well, that'll be the first time I see you guys in quite a while, so I'm very excited to see you guys.
Us too,
It'd be nice to come back to Smyrna and see everyone.
Consider yourself prepared for 1,000 hugs, just so you know they're coming for you.
I can't wait. I need the hugs. We all need the hugs. All right. So just to kind of round everything out, where can the masses find you on the web space?
Willow Hill Music, anything.
Yeah.
Just willowhillmusic.com, Willow Hill Music at Gmail, Willow Hill.
Facebook is just Willow Hill. But if you search Willow Hill Music, it'll come up.
Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, they're all /Willow Hill Music. Yeah. We try to keep the branding on point.
Absolutely. And we'll put them in the comments below just so that everybody, or the description below, I should say, so that everybody can see it.
We did that new music video, so if you get a chance, throw that in there for everybody too, if you don't mind.
Oh yeah, More Like a Memory. That one with in the big field. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, absolutely. So, all right, guys, that has been quite the interview. Thank you so much for spending all of this time sharing all of your lovely stories with me.
Oh, thank you so much for having us. Seriously, it's been so nice catching up.
Absolutely. Anytime, I will always have you guys on here whenever you guys ever want to talk about anything. And so thank you to all the people watching for stopping in and checking the video out. If you like what you saw, give us a thumbs up, smash the bell if you want to get more content from Gable Music Ventures. We've got tips videos with Shug Daniels, and we've got these lovely interviews. Let us know if you have anybody else that you want us to interview, any topics you'd like us to cover. More importantly, any questions for these two, if you have any, if we didn't cover anything, but I'm pretty sure we covered more than I think I've ever covered with anyone in this interview.
You're so long-winded.
We are very long-winded.
I love it though. It was great. So anyway, thank you everybody, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Guys.